Hello everyone and welcome back to Fear Factor, the show where we rank your favourite horror movies and games on a fear scale to determine how effectively they scare us. I'm your host Luke and today we're going over the sequel of the requel in the Scream franchise, Scream 6. Once again created by Radio Silence. This movie has got to be in my top 3 Scream movies, as it really stands out from the other movies in the franchise, and the action in this movie was taken to a whole new level. But can Scream 6 take the throne as the most fearful Scream movie yet? Let's find out. Scream 6 begins with a familiar face in the horror genre, Samara Weaving, who plays Laura Crane, a film studies professor who teaches 20th century slashers. We then learn that her date on the phone isn't her date at all, but instead it's one of her students who lures her into a dark alleyway and stabs her to death. The setting for this scene is perfect, and it's moments like this where the choice of having Ghostface in New York really shines through. But this isn't just any Scream movie, because instead of cutting to the title card in the opening kill, the killer takes off his mask, and we then follow him as he interacts with Tara, which is a great bit of dramatic irony. The tension then rises as we follow Jason to his apartment, who gets a call from the main Ghostface of the movie. Ghostface plays hot and cold with him, which makes the build up all the more suspenseful. Jason opens up the fridge to find his friend's body dismembered, and turns around to find Ghostface standing behind him, who stabs him several times in the stomach, causing his guts to spill out, ending in one of my favourite openings of the franchise.
We have to finish the movie.
Who gives a fuck about movies?
The gore in this movie is next level, and without a doubt one of the goriest installments of the Scream films. Every kill in this movie has some level of gore to it. The most goriest scene has to be the opening kill with Jason's guts spilling out and his friend's body dismembered in the fridge. Another notable gory moment is when Annika gets stabbed in the stomach by Ghostface, who then drags up the knife, which we see in great detail. But that's not it for Annika though, who also falls from a great height as a result of Ghostface shaking the ladder. Her head slams onto a dumpster, which disfigures her face. The tension throughout this movie was cranked up from the previous films. The store scene where Ghostface is hunting Tara and Sam with a shotgun reminds me of the kitchen scene in Jurassic Park, where the raptors are hunting the children as they try to not make any noise. That could actually make a good spin-off movie.
Welcome to Ghostface Park.
The apartment scene has you on the edge of your seat when Ghostface is trying to break into the room, while everyone else is trying to escape by crossing a ladder. All this while Annika is also bleeding to death. But the most suspenseful scene has got to go to the subway scene when Mindy gets attacked by Ghostface. This scene is filled with Easter eggs. At one point you can hear a group of people chanting "Evil dies tonight," a reference to Halloween Kills.
Serial killer movie theater.
The camera continuously cuts between the crowded train and the rest of the cast. The flickering lights and the many people wearing Ghostface masks all add to the atmosphere leading up to the attack. The cinematography and editing in this movie were flawless, and the film looked amazing throughout. New York was the perfect pick to set this movie in, and I would love to see Ghostface in other locations, like Ghostface in the snow, or Ghostface in the Bahamas. The performances in this movie were well done, and we got to see more character development from the core four, which was nice to see. While Sydney wasn't in this movie, they still managed to do a good job without her. We did still see 2 legacy characters return, Gail Weathers played by Courtney Cox, and Hayden Panettiere reprising her role as Kirby Reed. Gail really got her moment in this movie with her finally getting a call from Ghostface, followed up by a flawless chase scene, with Ghostface giving another great one-liner.
You missed.
Once again, Robert L. Jackson brought his A game as the voice of Ghostface in this movie. The killer reveal being Ethan and Quinn, with their father, Detective Bailey, being the one in charge, was initially underwhelming for me, but there was a second twist that they were related to Richie, one of the killers from the previous movie, mirroring the twist from Scream 2. It would have been nice to have something we haven't already seen before, considering the rest of the movie constantly pushed the boundaries. However, I will say that the deaths of the killers were remarkable. Ethan got stabbed in the mouth by Tara and was then finished off the same way Stu was, with the same TV as well, which was a nice touch. Upon second viewing, reviewing, I really grew to like Ethan as a killer, and he gets a lot of one-liners in the final showdown. Gwyn was taken out by a simple headshot, but Sam brought the intensity once again when she stabbed Detective Bailey 31 times, with the final being a stab to the eye. That's 9 more times than Richie. So, on our fear scale of 10, where does Scream 6 rank? Scream 6 is the goriest installment of the franchise so far and has many tense sequences throughout. For that reason, I'm giving Scream 6 a 5 on our fear scale. That's on par with Scream 2. Let us know if you agree with our ranking in the comments below. If not, where would you rank this movie on the fear scale? Thanks for watching this episode of Fear Factor. Be sure to tune in next time as we review and critique more horror movies and games to determine just how scared they make us. And remember, if you hear your phone ring, it's probably just your friend. Or is it?